I did say that I wanted to. I've never actually tried streaming Guild Wars 2, and I did say I wanted to show a little bit of those two classes, so maybe we can try that for a second. Maybe a bit of bonus Guild Wars 2? Maybe? Let's see. Stream information. You know, I'm just going to set the category to games and demos so that nobody actually shows up expecting a real Guild Wars 2 stream. That seems fair. Everyone loves games and demos. The best game of 2023. I almost said 2022. But that's not the day it is. So Guild Wars 2 is an interesting situation in terms of recording because I have to use the keyboard to play this game, actually. And I've been using the controller for everything, and that means I have to like rearrange my desk space a bit. I can probably force this game to use a controller somehow. I don't know if putting my mic over here more is fine, because it's more to the side than usual. But I've angled it towards me, so maybe it's okay. Also, Guild Wars 2 apparently also has to patch. So, we're working on it. Can't tell if there's even a difference. That's good. That's perfect. This is technically true, and I don't have a different today's game button. I also have never checked. Okay, I have checked to see if Guild Wars 2 records. That's probably. So, like, it should be fine. Probably. Game broke, parentheses planned. Yeah, exactly. Log in. Oh. Oh, right. Twitch did tell me to post that in my own chat earlier. Hello and welcome. PSO2 NGS just went down for maintenance, so I'm doing something else. Trying something else. This will probably be loud. Unless I had the volume up. Or volume not loud. Oh yeah, I had the volume not loud. So... Ta-da! Is this gonna work with game capture? Just fine. Is that gonna be fine? Sure is. Welcome to Guild Wars 2, temporarily. As you can see, I've got many characters. The only character I don't have at 80 right now is Thief, and that's because of Sakura Trizioi existing. But yeah. So, the purpose of this Guild Wars 2 bit here... Do I have a better background for this than just the question marks? First of all, character select screen is very pretty right now because of End of Dragons. What else do we got for backgrounds? We got this. This is the sort of background that your school library website would have in the 90s or something, probably. You know what? This works well enough. So, Guild Wars 2 is video game, also an MMO, something I will get to eventually. I do not have a Kirby background. As you can see, I have many characters. Radna is here, even. Hello, Radna. We've got Ranger, Guardian, Warrior, Elementalist, Sakura Trizioi, the thief who will not actually be the main character of the streams eventually when I get to those. Radna's a necromancer, and Ficus Figwraith over here is a renegade. But the primary purpose of the Guild Wars stream at the moment is these two here. Panethea, the human mirage, and Mechanician Tada, the Asura mechanist. I was talking a little bit about Mechanist and Mirage earlier, and how I was thinking those would be the choice of classes would boil down to those two, basically. So since the other game fell over on purpose from their end, I guess let's take a look at these two classes and see if anyone has any strong opinions about them. A lot of these characters, as far as the characters being adorable goes, I guess so. A lot of them are using like the same full outfit. Like this is the same outfit as this is here. Radna's also got a preset outfit on. But yeah. So, you want to see Mirage first, or do you want to see Mechanist first? Anyone have any very strong opinions about this matter, or should I just pick arbitrarily? Pink one's very stylish. Unfortunately, Elementalist is like one of my least favorite. Because they seem pretty broken. Cat girl in hood. The cat hood's good. Also, you specifically would recognize Ficus Figwraith, because that was a character idea I had that would fit into a D&D Magic the Gathering setting. But the cat ears are just the hood, unfortunately. This is fake cat girl hours over here. These ears are also an accessory, so I guess that's technically also fake. I don't know. Let's start with Mirage. Let's see if I can... I think there's like a training golem somewhere that I can go to demonstrate. Why am I caught in a crevasse? Anyway. 2! That means I got mail. So this is the Guild Wars 2 interface. There's a lot happening immediately. You might be taken by alarm, but don't worry too much. Oh, okay. That's fair. I guess, did they add a new story chapter today? Or like recently? Anyway, I think if I go over here, there is a place where I can go to a training golem. They very specifically pronounce it golem all the time. Yeah, I don't know if you mean like comparing it specifically to Guild Wars 1 or just in general. But I think I think there's a lot of beef to be had with Elementalist in general in Guild Wars 2. Oops, I need to confirm that differently. Special Forces Training Area. What the dragons did to deserve such is be a world-ending force of evil, for the most part. Ah, I have the Mushroom King's blessing. For some reason. Cool. Does it?
Hi there. Use the console to begin combat testing. If you have any inquiries, come speak to me.
Spawn a golem. Average. You say that, but I tend to prefer the classes that are as simple as possible, personally. Average. Average enemy. 4 billion health or whatever. Please spawn my golem. Standard kitty golem. So, in terms of demonstrating how combat works, I guess. This is Mirage. This is the basic attack. This is the Mirage gimmick. When you press dodge, that happens. There's also, you can make your clones explode, which is usually actually a bad idea. You can make another clone. You can make even more clones. Basically, the general game plan is to shoot illusions as much as possible, everywhere, all the time. And this is basically the entirety of Mirage gameplay for how I have set it up. You can also create a mirror, I guess, over here. It's not terribly complicated. There's like some other buttons I would probably use instead, actually. I have it set up so that when I swap weapons, I get endurance back so I can dodge more. So once I have 3 things and the ability to easily create more clones, I want to like explode them, generally. But I want to have the clones stay there because every time I do that, they also do that, which is a major source of damage. So yeah, nothing super complicated, probably not also super like damaging, but very sturdy and easy to like stay alive and whatnot. I never started recording, but that's probably fine. So I really like Mirage. There are builds in this game that are like way more complicated than this, of course, but this is what I do, usually. That would be rad if there were a Mesmerist specialization that did that. I mean, you could argue that the okay. You could argue that oh, what is it called? The Virtuoso kind of does that because they have knives hovering behind them and you throw the knives, but that's not really the same. So that's a little glimpse at Mirage. There's a lot of other options and stuff, as you can see. First of all, I can do that, which does nothing because this counts as a boss enemy, and I forgot how the game works. I thought I could adjust what that was from here, but no. I probably can. But yeah, there's like a billion different like skill trees and options for all of these skills and whatnot. Is there a way to reset enmity in this? Do I just have to be far enough away? Ah, a rat. Get deleted, rat. Take that, I guess. Okay, I can change things from here. So there's like elite skills over here, and then there's like 4... Oh, there's also healing skills, and then there's 3 utilities, of which there are many. There's also various mounts that you can have. I put the time in to get a sky scale, which does this. This makes all of the traversal of the game very trivial. So if I want to, I can just beeline straight to every story thing. It's funny. It's not like complete freedom of flight though, because you do have a stamina bar and you start to descend. But you can also jump onto a wall and then boost off the wall. And barrel roll, indeed. So yeah, that was a bit of Mirage. I could show all of the classes, really. But like the 2 I'm most likely to play as are Mirage and Mechanist, because those are the simplest and like the ones I am personally most likely to be effective as. And like I was thinking about the knives thing before. Hell yeah. Hell yeah for weirdly gender affirming stuff. Oh yeah. Oh. God damn it. I forgot I was here. So this is a place of refuge, not a den of iniquity, is an NPC line that is stuck in my brain for the rest of all time. Because every single time you load in Arborstone, that guy says that. or that person says that, and it sure is words that you say, that they say. Also, Calico's in this game, kind of. Cat. This is a skin for the Jade Bot, which is a mechanic that was added in End of Dragons that you can also summon as a little minion if you get a specific sort of resource, and then trade for it. So I can have a permanently deployed funny calico cat that has a trail of rainbows and makes a lot of cat sounds arbitrarily.
I am filled with the power of green.
Indeed. Indeed you are, Callie. Speaking of green, so this is Mechanist. This is the robot that Mechanist gets. The robot has some modular parts depending on which skills you select, and you can also rename it. Mine is currently named Arsenal.
Now time to wait several hours to loop around.
I don't entirely know what you mean, but good luck. So yeah, this is Tada's robot Arsenal. Currently has guns for arms, and I think the skills also change like what your shoulders look like. Like if I go over here, maybe not. That changes the arms. Does this change anything? Maybe not. I think I want to have Jade Mortar. Oh, that green. Right, yes. You are correct. It's not so much looping around as just waiting for the rabbit to appear. But, yeah. Shoot. When I had like a support build for this class, my robot had a very funny name, but I can't remember what it was. I'm trying to remember it. This is important. Oh, right. It was Barrier B. Bunsen. Oh, okay. Right. I forgot those were on F keys. I mean, Control Shift or whatever. So, okay. Every time I emote, I suddenly summon a creature to sit on, I guess. Sit on and ride around with. Mounts. Probably need to adjust that at some point if I plan to emote during this game.
Hi there. Use the console.
But yeah, robot. So the robot has like 3 special abilities here, all of which can be set to auto fire, which is not optimal, but is possible. Also, all I have down here are just various signets, which are mostly passive bonuses. But I think like a major feature of the engineer class is that they have kits, like this grenade kit over here. I can equip this and my hotbar changes to grenades. I think the typically used Mechanist rotation does involve the grenade kit, so I'd have to look into that. But first, let's make an enemy. So yeah, this is like with all the stuff set I have set to auto. This is the most straightforward character possible, basically. I shoot my gun. I have a thing that lets me like jump to a place. I have a shotgun. I have an immobilize that also causes my robot to shoot. My robot does a lot of gunfire. And my robot does all the other robot things on cooldown automatically. So this is basically the extent of Mechanist. It's also not very complicated, at least the way I have it set up. In terms of like gameplay for me specifically, this is the simplest option. I'm sure there's a little bit more I could do with it. But I basically just press all the buttons on cooldown and then let everything else happen and dodge when appropriate. This might look less visually impressive or interesting than Mirage. It's also probably a little bit less survivable. So I'm curious about people's opinions. The Signets, if I do use them, I have a teleport. I have a knockback that doesn't do anything to the golem. What is this? I can make a barrier, I guess. I can make the robot fire a big laser. Well, it's not that impressive, really. So how do people feel about this and Mirage from what we've seen so far? This would be like, if I was ever worried about hand pain, this would be the easiest one for that as well. So that's a pretty strong point in its favor, I would say. Equally good about both of them? Fair enough. Arsenal, please. I think I was definitely doing more damage with Mechanist. But Mirage is like more survivable, sustainable. Possibly? Maybe. Rat! Killed. I really like my character designs for my existing Mechanist and also Mirage. Arsenal just really doesn't want to stop fighting. They're always fighting. They're fighting now. While we're here, I guess I could look at some of the other ones that I have, even though I'm not likely to actually play as them. Unless doing this makes me go like, oh yeah, this rules actually. But I was looking at the makeover preview to check out character creation options. By the way, fun fact about this game, it does have somewhat varied body type options, a little bit. Like you can be like relative to what I expect from MMOs of making you be very thin. You can be you can be like a I guess bulkier and like wider shouldered lady in this game if you want to. And also the height variance is pretty significant. So that's good. Library of Ruina. I don't know what that is, so that was an unintentional reference, in fact. Oh, this is also a preview of Sylvari. If I do play this game, like, as implied by Sakura, I would be likely to play as a Sylvari. That's a Revenant dodge. And that is because I believe they are the most, like, plot relevant. It feels like your character is designed to be a Sylvari, at least in the start of the game. And, like, a big portion of why I want to stream a playthrough of Guild Wars 2's story is because I think it's very interesting how the game has like changed over time, both in terms of like story presentation, game design, mechanics, and whatnot. Not so much like the base gameplay of every class and the different balance changes and whatnot they've done there, but just like how the game is presented and structured. And I think it's interesting and like worth looking at, talking about, etc. And like particularly like the basic story of the game, like the earliest part has some weird stuff going on that's interesting to discuss, I think. So this would be a weird, like, more discussing the story kind of situation. I don't know if I'm the best sort of person to like host a discussion study piece type of whatever, but I'm sure we could have some interesting discussions about it. Respawn my previous golem incarnation. Oh, maybe not. Oh, wait, yeah, that did work. Maybe it carries over. But this is Renegade. I'm not super likely to play as them. But the whole deal with Revenants is that they have a stance. They have two stances where they invoke a legendary, like, they invoke the power of a legendary figure, and that changes their entire skill bar over here. So you don't like choose these, you just reorder them. And they also have like an endurance mechanic similar to Guild Wars 1 resource management. So if I remember correctly, the main thing I do here, oh, I also have like I have a hologram 8-bit bow on Vicus over here. So the main thing I do here is also just sort of fire everything off cooldown, except there isn't really cooldown. But also I summon funny creatures that wiggle about a lot and do things. Currently I have the power of the legendary Char Renegade Kala Scorchrazor, which allows me to summon a legion of Char that do various things in an area. So if you're familiar with Guild Wars 1 at all, Renegade is just Ritualist in disguise, basically, or like one method of playing Ritualist. I also have a staff. Renegade is the only one with like melee staff, which is mostly defensive, but it does exist. And I can also switch over here to invoke the power of the legendary demon Malix the Unyielding, who is mostly condition damage based stuff. The primary purpose of Malix is to press the elite skill Embrace the Darkness and then stand next to things. Oh, there's also like a whole set of mechanics in this game where you have like combo fields and then combo finishers, which is why you see a little heart that says lifesteal or whatever popping up. So yeah, like Renegade with the setup I have, it's something I can understand. I could probably play as this too if I wanted. So if Renegade seems super interesting, then that would also be potentially viable, but I think Mechanist or Mirage is more likely to be something that I like. Oh, I forgot these buttons over here. Citadel Bombardment. And Heroic Command. So Revenant's relatively complicated because they like switch their entire skill bar, and also they have a separate sort of resource management. Oh yeah, and most of the legend are like based on or from Guild Wars 1, by the way. Malix was a no-name post-story boss in Guild Wars 1. Fair enough. Oh, maybe one thing I should show while I'm here. Disable player chatter is currently on. What if it wasn't, though?
I am fury rising.
Cast out! Bring the thunder!
Characters have a lot of voice lines that they... Oh. I guess the Golem hated hearing the voice lines so much that they left. That's fair. I usually have that turned off, but I don't know how long it takes. But yeah, Malix also has voice lines. If you wait long enough, as a Revenant specifically... Yeah, I don't... Hey, have you ever played as a human? I could outrun a centaur. If you've ever played as a human female character in this game, I don't remember if the male characters say it. The status effect that gives you that, the status effect that like happens that speeds you up. Human female characters will say, "I could outrun a centaur," like every single time this happens, and it's common. So that particular voice spark stuck in my brain forever. If you wait long enough as a Revenant with voice sparks, though, your invoked spirit begins speaking to you, and your character responds to them. And Malik's ones are all very funny, so let's see if we can sit here long enough and Ficus will talk to Malik's. Oh, really? Wow. I didn't know that. Since I forgot to hit recording, I might have to, like, download this from Twitch and then edit at some point. Yeah, this is also a preview of what the Sylvari voice would sound like when I played this game. If she says things. I don't know how long this takes. It's an idle line, so it probably takes a little while, but still. I had no idea that the Asura had, like, status effects that were swapped around, though. That's funny. Hey, wait, what the? Why does my mouse cursor go outside of the visible window like that in the recording? That's so weird. Because I can't see that far over. Like, if I look at my main monitor where this mouse cursor is, I can see, like, the line of it poking out of the edge. But the capture has captured beyond the edge of my monitor, so that the mouse cursor pokes through the little game window border. But I can only see that if I'm looking at OBS, because I can't see past my monitor. Weird. Cool, weird tech thing that isn't too concerning. Also, having this cat around, they sure do make a lot of cat noise and, like, teleporting sounds a lot, constantly. I guess idle lines take a while to happen, huh? Let's all think about this cat for a while instead. Maybe the idle lines don't happen if I'm moving the mouse cursor around. Maybe? I don't know. I'll give it a little bit more. Basically, if it doesn't happen, Malik starts saying stuff like, I will take over and control your immortal soul, embrace the darkness, blah, and your character basically says, like, shut the fuck up, Malix. And there's, like, 2 variations of that for every possible character gender combination, basically. Nobody even, like, everyone just wants Malix to stop it. I agree. I think. Alright, maybe it's not gonna happen for whatever reason. Yeah, disable player chatter. But yeah, that was another class that I could conceivably play as. Spellblade? Or Spellbreaker, or whatever this particular warrior is one I played as a lot, so I could probably do this one as well if I wanted to. Also, if I may pat myself on the back for a moment. Okay, good, I'm far enough away from the person who says this isn't a place of refuge, it's a den of iniquity. Or, I thought, or whatever. If I may pat myself on the back for a moment. A lot of Asura have titles like the ones I've given my character, and I'm particularly fond of both Mechmatician and Combatologist, which is the title that this character has. I think I did a good job.
Come on, I don't...
Combatologist Novi. It's funny how my Asura names are very, like, lore accurate, and then actually my Sylvari names that I've had are completely not, so I'll need to think of one that is. Yeah, exactly. That's probably exactly what she would say. But yeah, my warrior setup is basically yelling a lot and then stabbing people. I did try to play as Bladesworn for End of Dragons, and I didn't really like it. Also, Asura have like very cartoonishly exaggerated animations and whatnot, which is very good for certain. Respawn my previous golem. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what to do. I think I mostly just use everything on cooldown again. Yeah, this is a relatively more mundane visually option, I guess. But I do have a parry. If I wanted this game to have a parry mechanic, I guess. Jet Force Gemini help revives? For what? But yeah, I also have axes over here. This is what I mean by a cartoonishly exaggerated animation. It's more noticeable if I'm not actually continuing to fight something. But yeah, I also have axes, so swapping between axes and daggers and whatnot. And yelling, because the yelling buffs me and also restores my HP with my setup. Ah, the looks and animation of the Asura. So, like, if I just do this axe spinning and then let it, like, resolve. Whoa! Very silly. Bro. But yeah, I guess Warrior doesn't look particularly visually interesting. But they're a solid enough choice. Anything else? I don't particularly like Ranger or Guardian or Elementalist. Necromancer, I'm not really sure what I'm doing with it sometimes. That makes sense. So Sakura is currently still sitting in the intro of Sylvaria Zone. So I actually can't show you anything here at all. Never mind. I was just going to like briefly demonstrate the idea of Rogue flipping about a lot. But I think that Thief rather. I think Thief is actually somewhat disorienting with the flipping. So maybe I'd rather not do that. And also like I've learned that they're actually not very good. Apparently, at least in solo situations, because they have no sustaining power. But anyway, that was like a brief overview of like, I guess, Warrior, Revenant, Engineer, and Mesmer, or Spellbreaker, I think. Yeah, Spellbreaker, Renegade, Mechanist, Mirage. If anyone has any strong opinions about which ones of those look the coolest or most interesting, I think I'm still leaning towards either Mirage or Mechanist. Mirage might be the most visually interesting of the options. But like Mechanist is the simplest to play. Though Mirage isn't terribly difficult either. And Mirage is like, I think Mirage would be the most capable of doing like the most content without issue. And then Mechanist would be like most solo content without issue, and then Mechanist would be in second place for that. So really it boils down to like cool illusions or cool robots. That was a bit of Guild Wars 2. And I guess on that note, that was a bit of a little bonus. I should have been recording, but I'll have to download it from the twitch.television instead. On that note, I guess that's it. I wanted to do more, but I don't want to like do another 3 hours more or anything. So unfortunate that PSO2 NGS went into maintenance. I forgot that they do that every Tuesday somehow. And hopefully that well, I just want to know first if anyone has any strong opinions about those Guild Wars 2 classes, or if that made anyone actually seem. Do people think Guild Wars 2 would be a good stream idea? I guess is the question I'm going towards. Those are the things I want everyone to ponder, if you would do me that favor. But on all of those notes, I think that would be it for today. So thank you all for watching. And I will see you hopefully tomorrow for Shadowbringers. Hopefully tomorrow, as in hopefully I will be able to stream tomorrow. You don't have to feel obligated to show up. But yeah. Oh yeah, as usual, you can go to borealrobin.cardwith2rs.co for various social media and donation links if you wish to look at those. And it would be very helpful if you would consider things such as following or subscribing. Like, comment, subscribe, the incantation, as they say sometimes. And I think that's about as good as I'm going to do at advertising myself, so until next time, have a good rest of the day, and I will maybe see you in the future. Good night.